Welcome to Grow Overload, and here we go with, I was on Neowin reading some articles and popped up with an article of more ads into Windows. Great, right? And it's something we need to deal with, I think, at some point, or at least put out there of what the heck Microsoft. We pay for an OS, or at least most people do in some sort of fashion, and to get the Windows license, and then you're throwing ads in there. At what point, Microsoft, do you just say this is free? We're going to have ads in it, and you're going to have to deal with it. It's one reason why I do lean more towards Linux more and more these days, because I don't have to deal with all the ads anymore. They're being shoved in all over. And in the Neowin article, there was Albacore, which is the book is closed on Twitter, showing that after there was an experimental text in the settings that was changed to accommodate where it says show recommendations, tips, shortcuts, news and apps and more in the start menu. It now has in there ads. So they want to put ads in the start menu. This is going to every little bit of fingers into your windows to make sure that the ad can be served to you, so Microsoft can extract the most amount of money out of you, right? That's what the ads are there for. And I just would like Microsoft if you would go through and just kind of take this back a step, and let's make this a rock solid OS. You have a lot of issues, especially on the scheduler side, in my opinion, on different things. Um, in my day job, working on stuff, and I get to see and push a processor to its limits a lot in many cases. And there's just a lot of things that just the scheduling wise just doesn't make sense. And you have the whole, X3D chips and having to use the game bar in order for to know if it's a game or not, which really doesn't make sense, and even to this day has not been ironed out. You have the Intel, hybrid architecture with the, small and big cores, and that even isn't to this day fully ironed out. And I can only imagine once you start throwing more cores at something with Zen C cores and the higher performance cores, what Microsoft's going to do with that. And that's just on the scheduler side. Then you have, Copilot, which you're trying to force in front of people. And while, it may be, AI may be a huge thing in Windows, we may all like it and all use it every single day. It seems like that was thrown into Windows to get there and to just be, hey, look at me, make sure you use me. Uh, and, I'm on Windows, their, what, foremost build, or their, the canary build, whatever they want to call it, their insider program on one of my devices, and it just seems like the ads, the Copilot, and everything else is just thrown in your face to use it, and all I can think about is, man, this is annoying. That's not where you want to be as an OS. I get it. Microsoft's kind of got this stranglehold on the OS market right now. But if there is any opening in time, I think that this is an opening for Linux, even Mac OS to an extent. Even though you can't just build your own computer, and I kind of stick more towards that market because I like it more. You have repairability, swap out parts, you have that sort of things in the PC market where you don't have that in the Mac market, right? In fact, listen to some of the Mac repair stuff, even, listen to Louis Rossmann and on there, watch some videos. You can see how controlling Apple is with that. That's one thing area I think Apple needs to work on. Right to repair, maybe we'll do a video on that down the road. We probably will, because I am an advocate for right to repair. I think we should be able to repair the stuff we buy. But this is, an opening Microsoft is leaving, where I think if they would focus on getting their features well rounded out, being reliable, getting to a point where, businesses can rely on the updates being rock solid instead of being like, we got to wait 6 months, we got to wait a year before we can deploy this. I think that there's bigger issues here. I get Microsoft wants to be on the cutting edge of some of these features, AI and stuff, but it seems like, seeing some features, what was it, last week or 2 weeks ago, Microsoft had a feature out in the Microsoft, server that was not supposed to be there, and that's not something that you can come back with and say this is a company taking seriously of their bug fixes, of their support of their product, and making sure that they're having the best quality out there for their users. And that is something that is concerning to me. I've seen this over the years. I was a much bigger proponent a few years ago when they were more focused on getting some of those things ironed out. But it seems like, since Windows 7, it has been an exchange of leadership inside that team, inside these divisions, and it has been not a focus of, you know, growth of stability, growth of a reliable product, but a growth of how do we get the most money extracted out of our consumers. And that in the long run is never a, at least to me, never a great strategy. Granted, you do have a stranglehold on the desktop users right now. You don't really have that on the server market. That's more of a Linux area. And with Steam and everybody else trying to work on their games to get over into the Windows market, when games start moving over to Linux and when people start kind of, making that jump, that's going to be a much harder thing for Windows to keep stranglehold of, because when you have the most advanced tech people in a circle of people saying, I use this Linux, I use that, it's, easy to use, straightforward, there's not many issues, I can get you to migrate over to this without any issues, I'm willing to help you, this is a good switch. All of a sudden, those decisions being made by those people that are in close influence, Windows will start eroding. And I'm here for it if that is the case. I'm not going to call this the year of Linux or anything like that, but I think that there are slow steps that happen over time and decisions being made that can change your your direction of where you want to go. And this is, I think, adding ads, another ad, thing. Granted, you can turn it off. I believe, and me personally, these things should be opt-ins, not opt-outs, but you can turn it off, but people get annoyed when they have to keep turning stuff off, and it's not like it, operated like it used to, right? People have gone through Windows, let's say Windows 95, Windows 98, Windows 2000, Windows ME, Windows XP, Windows Vista, Windows 7, Windows 8, right? You had all those, Windows 10, and now 11. The start menu was always in this location. Windows 11, it moved on you. We can be able to customize the PC this way. Nope, you can only have the start menu in this position, right? What was it? Edge browser. For a while, they were popping up a thing. Hey, let's move all your tabs to the side. Well, it may be more efficient, whatever else. The way they kind of put it up there, I accidentally clicked on it once. It was a bad deal. I'm used to going through my tabs the way they are up on top, minimum. So they take up a minimum space on my screen, and I can have a lot of them. I probably have too many of them. But in each browser, I can go through them that way, and I still have a full screen of that browser, or however I layer my windows. So, let me know what your thoughts are of Microsoft adding more ads to this. What is annoying you with Microsoft? I do like some things, right? They seem to be still pushing the envelope on the gaming side of making some, gaming development easier than it is, on other platforms. And it seems like that could be a good thing. You have direct ray tracing, so you have, or direct, well, they have the direct ray tracing, but they also have the API, what they want to come out with, where the FSR, DLSS, XESS is that performance, make your games look better for free, kind of. So that is one API that you can develop, and it goes off and it executes on each of those different APIs, which I think is a nice logical step, making it easier to develop for. But there's other parts to this where, people like the ease of use. People like being able to get things done. Technology does need to fade into the background so people can get their work done. And throwing ads and stuff inside of that is not doing that sort of thing. I paid for Windows, all my Windows on everything. That's something that I've done. But I can also see where, if I'm going to pay for something, I throw ads in it. Why do I still keep paying for it? That doesn't make much sense, Microsoft, either. And businesses, even on business, we have a whole bunch of ads there, you can kind of turn them off, but I bet Microsoft at some point is going to say we need, if it's going to be the bottom dollar instead of how reliable a piece of software is, where does that go? So enough for me rambling on my Microsoft tangent with ads. I, I've heard from many people though that are like, this is getting ridiculous. Oh man, an ad here now, ad here now. Like people are getting frustrated, and these are people that they're normal users. I help out a lot of people um, with their computers, get them set up, everything else, and people are annoyed with certain changes that just wow. They always ask, why did they do this? I wish I could answer why Microsoft did some of these things. I would, heck, it might be a great idea to just be like, I know this answer and I make a lot of money off of it. But all I can say is, I have no idea. It doesn't make any sense to me either. And that's not, I mean, are you testing this? I get you have a canary build out, but still going down with it when people say this is not a good idea, uh, it's it leads to a bad product and people getting annoyed by it, and that's not where you want to be. When you redesign a UI or you update a UI or everything else, you want to have a migration path and make it easier for users to be able to do. And I think, maybe during the design process, you might take steps that make that easy, and you might want to get here to a final product. But that's where, you have these big updates once a year, Microsoft, where you can migrate that over slowly, even if you did little updates throughout the year. This is where your 2 updates a year actually made sense. And now you're making those big changes because you want to be at the forefront, because we need the AI right now. And then Copilot's popping up on reboot. Copilot is, taking over and shifting all somebody's windows. People don't like that, windows to be modified by something other than them. So it's something to think about. If Microsoft watches this or somebody, I hope that they put the effort in, because I think that there's, benefit to that. I think that there's benefits to a lot of competition in the sector of OSs that can help everybody out. But it seems like Microsoft's not in that side of things. They're in the side of things of the next flashy thing to click on. With that, thank you so much for watching Gravelord and helping this channel grow. I really do appreciate it. Let me know what your complaints or likes are about Microsoft. There are some, well, about Windows. Let's do that. There's some things I do like about Windows, right? I use it on multiple machines. I also use Linux, but I use it on multiple machines. It does, I rely on it for those machines. So leave it in the comments below what you guys think. Don't forget to watch another one of my videos. It does help with the channel. Like, share, subscribe, hit the bell icon. And until next time, God bless.